welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you.
Pretty casual. It's not as serious or as big as Rizzo's or.
Yeah.
So ours is called Find Your Path. It's kind of like where you started from, how you got to where you're at, and then where you're going, like what you're excited about.
Okay.
So pretty casual. Like I said, it's not that serious. I started a podcast as a method for like to just attract people and like have conversations and build relationships. I never thought it would go anywhere, and not that it's like major or anything, but it's kind of taken on a little life of itself. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro. Sure. So tell me about yourself. So I don't really know you that well, just of what I heard your last podcast. I know you're a trader, which is kind of crazy. I was thinking about that. Trading seems like stressful, but I came up with a title for this video, which I think will do really well, and it's going to be how I survived losing $1.5 million.
That's a good one. That's a good hook.
Yeah. So you were born, and then what happened?
Yeah. So basically, grew up on the East Coast, sort of near Boston, and went to college. I'm Vietnamese, so parents wanted me to be a doctor or be a lawyer or something in the whole college type of schooling. But when I was about 19, I had a friend that was always on his phone in school.
Yeah.
And he was trading options, and I asked him one day, if he would teach me how to trade, and I would help him in class. And yeah. And he kind of showed me a few things, and he showed me some profit and loss on some trades, and I saw the potential of it, and I got pretty hooked, like ever since I was
instantly, right after that?
Instantly, yeah.
Did you finish school?
So I finished undergrad, graduated, took the MCAT, so like my parents thought like this kid's gonna make it. He's gonna
he's gonna make it.
Yeah, he's gonna be a doctor. And I told my parents like the first year, I'm like, I'm gonna take a year off. I'm gonna just kind of
sabbatical.
Yeah, just kind of prepare and just get ready for school. And then the first year I had about $5,000-$6,000, and I managed to flip it to about 100,000.
No way! In that year?
In that year, yeah.
Wow.
So from that point, I knew that something was here, something that I was really interested in could be scalable.
Yeah.
So 1 year break turned into 2 year break, and by second year, like they were pretty pissed.
Really?
They were just like, "What are you doing like at home all day?" And I was like,
like you were still staying with them?
I was still with them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
So 1 year turned into 2 years, and I was like, yeah, I just need more time. I'm still like trying to prepare for school.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
So you were supposed to go, like the plan was you were supposed to go back to school and get your like doctorate or whatever the case was.
Yeah. Apply for med school and just get in, and then I just started making more and more money. Like I made like a couple $100,000 the second year.
Yeah.
By my third year, I made $1 million.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And so did you like disclose this to your parents? Like, or did they care? Like, was there like, cause my wife is Japanese, so I understand like the pressure from like the culture. Like, was there that, and how'd you kind of like navigate that?
So there's a big thing in like Asian culture where if you're taking risk, it's get called gambling. So they always thought it was just a big gamble, and I got lucky. So eventually, shortly after I moved out, moved out to the West Coast, and moved to Oregon where I met my wife eventually, but. They didn't find out till like 2021.
Whoa, yes. That's a long time from being 22 until 21. That's like almost a 10-year spread, dude.
Yeah, so
they didn't know you were like successful, or they didn't know you were trading?
They didn't know that I was successful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they thought like, they just didn't think much of me, I guess. They just thought like, okay, he's kind of doing his thing. Whatever.
He's alive.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't until 2021, and I flew them out to Vegas. We eventually moved here, and kind of just showed them my lifestyle, showed them, some like my home, some of my like rental properties, and then my cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh shoot, okay, this kid, he kind of made it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. So were you guys not like in like close contact, or was it like?
It was just very like kind of like texting and quick conversations on the phone just to check up on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we weren't very close for a long time, but after they found out like and kind of like accepted me, then I kind of like opened up more to them and kind of started to really take care of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're retired now. I
Nice.
just bought them a house
Sick.
on the East Coast, so they're just kind of chilling now.
Are they older? Or like, are you the youngest? Do you have any siblings?
So
or?
I'm the youngest. I have one brother. He's a year older than me.
Oh, okay.
He kind of lives back home with them actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so.
So how old are your parents? Like in their
They're-
early 60s?
Yeah, my mom's 62. My dad's 68.
So that's not like super old.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're still like got some time to enjoy retirement.
sure,
They've got a long
yeah.
time. My
Yeah.
parents are about the same age, and I think like, dude, you guys will be here for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
You never know. They could live to 100.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
with today's like day and age. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you weren't a doctor, but somebody went through with it, and they
Yeah.
might save their lives.
For sure, yeah. Like my grandfather lived to 100.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. Like my dad retired a couple years ago, so I was like, okay, when you retire, I'm gonna fly you back to Vietnam, and we went to go see my grandpa, and my dad saw him for like 4 or 5 days, and then when we left, he passed away.
No way.
Literally like a day or 2 days later.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
dude. Shoot, I forgot. I don't know where I was going with that. My wife's parents. So her dad he's like, I want to say he's like 80 or something, but he's like really strong. Like does Tai Chi and karate and like super like healthy. I forget he's that old because like they moved from Hawaii here when we had our daughter. She's 3 now, and they stayed for like a couple years and then like bought a house and sold it, and then they moved to Japan. And we like helped him move and stuff, and he was like moving like boxes, and like I forget that he's like an older gentleman. Like it's kind of crazy, you know?
I feel like if you like try not to stress out too much and you kind of take care of yourself with
Yeah.
diet and physical activity,
Eat
I feel like
healthy,
you kind of look younger and you feel younger. So
Are you like religious in any like way?
I'm like Catholic, yeah.
So okay, so have you read like the Bible at all? Like and like.
So I went to Catholic school.
Dude, so did I.
Okay, cool, yeah. So in theory, yeah, we learned it.
Yeah.
Do I remember a lot of it? Not really.
Right.
Yeah.
And I read a lot, like a ton. Like I'm an avid reader, consumer of information, and so my wife's parents are Orthodox Jewish, and so you know they gave us a Torah and whatever. Like I thought, like, why don't I just read this like objectively and see like what's in it, like from like a literature standpoint, right? And so I like started reading it. I'm not far into it. I'm in the beginning, like Genesis or whatever. But like based on the stories, and who knows, right? Like it could be mythical, like whatever. Dude, people in the Bible lived for like 900 years, like you know. And if you think about like they had cleaner oxygen, maybe cleaner food, like no distractions, like. Could it be possible? Like maybe, like, you know, considering your cells like regenerate every like 7 years or however often. I've heard someone say like 11 months, like you're regenerating new cells. So like if you stayed healthy and kept regenerating, like maybe you could live like, you know.
You never know. Like history is like kind of pretty vague, I'd say. So you never know what could have happened back then.
Yeah, I
For
don't know.
sure.
So, okay, so you started trading, you became successful at that. And just like, I guess I have a personal question. I don't know, did you, like, when you grew up, was it like a regular, like, home, like, as far as, like, economics? Was it, like, poverty? Was it higher end? Like, how did you grow up, and, like, what was your relationship around money?
Yeah, good question. So my parents came here, like, after the Vietnam War. So when the communists took over the South, my parents fled. And they came here with no money, and they didn't speak English. So it was pretty tough growing up. We didn't really have much. Like, we went to Catholic school, so like, you know, you wear a uniform.
Yeah.
And on dress down days, I would just wear the same outfit every time because I didn't have any clothes.
Wow.
It was like that type. And so it was tough. We didn't, like, my parents worked really hard. We never really missed a meal, my brother and I. So they always, you know, put their head down and made sure we got a good education and we got everything we really needed. But in terms of financially, no one really kind of taught me how to manage money or how to save money. It was just something I kind of fell into when I was a teenager, a late teenager. But yeah, it was a it was tough
Yeah.
on the family.
So I guess like the reason, have you ever read like Psycho-Cybernetics or?
You know what? I actually just ordered that book. It just came in.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like it talks about like I'm sure you're familiar with the concept, but like subconscious mind and subconscious programming. And I've read like similar books to that, and it forced me to dig really deep on like grooved neural pathways that I've had like that. I built my reality on them. And so I grew up very like in poverty. My dad was like, drug user, alcoholic. And then my parents split up and my dad like retained custody of us. And I didn't see my mom until I was like 17. And so because of growing up in that turmoil, I generated like a fear of poverty. And it like has forced me to create some success, but also like around money, like if you peel all the layers back, which I've done like really deep work, it shapes a lot of the decisions that I made, right? Like, and I wasn't aware of that until maybe the last year, where I feel like I've did a lot of work to like eradicate that fear. And that like I felt like it was such a hindrance, because like the fear of poverty, you'll be more cautious. Like, I mean, I don't know if I could relate it to trading, but like, maybe you would not take that riskier trade, which I remember you saying you like take really risky trades or have a high pain threshold. So I guess what I was going to try to ask is like, have you faced anything like that or overcame it? Or like, how did you kind of maybe like allow your subconscious mind to program in the manner in which like you're able to sustain like this level of life and like move big amounts of money in that way without like if I lost $1.5 million, I would probably like, I'd be sick, like probably, like,
Yeah, it's a lot. I would say that like growing up, we didn't have much, but I feel like I always tried to make the best of what was there. And, as a kid, as a teenager, and as a young adult, still not too much money, but I always tried to make the best friends or be around, the best women I could get, or just make the best of each situation. So my attachment to money is strictly just, I see it as like a tool to just do other things, either to help people, help myself, help my family.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I lost everything, I'd still be the same person.
Yeah.
So that's why when I take risk with money, it's nothing I need in the sense that my life would still be the same with my relationships with who I'm like friends with and with my wife. So,
yeah. So yeah, and obviously it's just a resource, like you said, to like provide comfort and like help others and stuff like that. And dang, where was I gonna go with that? Sorry, I had to feel like a really good follow up, but now I lost my train of thought. I'm not as good as Riz. I'm still on the.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
But okay, so with that like relationship to money, like how have you like taken maybe like precautions or like my like big goal in like the next 5 years is like solidify my wealth. Like, have you done things with like the earned income to like maybe create that security blanket to where like, not now, however it shakes out, like, even if you lost everything, you feel secure and safe?
Yeah, my kind of strategy is, I think, a little different than other people, but basically with my earned income, I'm buying a lot of Bitcoin.
No way.
I'm big on Bitcoin.
You're a believer?
I own a lot of Bitcoin. Yeah.
Wow.
I would over 8 figures in Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think that Bitcoin in the future is going to be the future of how you save money and you fight inflation.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
your like kind of retirement strategy is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, yeah.
But you also like, do you have any like diversification in like other asset classes?
Yeah. So I have somewhat of a rule. It's a bit looser than it was before, but it's basically 20% cash, 20% real estate, 20% stocks, 20% commodities / bonds, and then 20% Bitcoin. So that's like my general rule of like how to keep yourself in the game, so you don't get crushed.
And then so like what, based off like how you allocate that, like what is your like working capital, like, or that is just strictly for like after you take home your earned income, like how you diversify it?
What do you mean by that?
Like, so when because you use, your business is unique in the sense that like you use money to make money, so you need like capital to continue to compound. So do you take like out your earned income, and then that's how you diversify, like after you have your earned income, and then you leave like whatever capital you're compounding as like a separate
Yeah. So
like, I mean, I don't know if I'm even asking the right question.
yeah. So basically, like, let's just say like I have like 10 million in a brokerage, and I start that on January 1st. So throughout the year, I'll withdraw like monthly on how much I'm making, and you have to account taxes too, capital gains tax. But basically, like, I'll take those profits and I'll start diversifying into the other asset classes.
I see.
And if one grows too much, then sometimes I'll sell some of that asset class and I'll diversify it again.
Oh, wow.
But it just depends, like, what market's hot and what's like kind of like on the verge of like a bear market or on the verge of just like potential collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, is that what you like? What makes you feel like safe? Like that you're like, because I think that was a big thing for me is like I need to have like X amount to feel safe, and like, you know, X amount compounding to feel safe. So like to you, and you don't have to say like a dollar amount or anything, but like what do you do to like, you know, sustain those like huge losses and still feel safe maybe?
Oh, okay. I think for me, I'm just confident that if I lose, I'll make it back. It's more of just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I lost like 7 figures, I always knew that it was just an outlier of a trade where I couldn't really, I guess I could control it. But I guess for that particular scenario, but I always have this mentality that if I lose something, I'll make it back. Like, anything with money.
Right.
Like, there's some situations where you can't control where, you know, you lose something else that it's really out of your control. But for me, I always tell myself and I tell my wife, like, you know, if I ever lose a large amount of money, it's just money. Like, we'll get it back, and it's not real. Like, money is just a thing. Yeah.
It's fiat currency. It's just like an energy. What's your do you consider it an energy, or like what is your like beyond like the obviously it's just like you said, like a currency, but like how do you define it as like an energy, and how do you like cultivate it, and how do you, because I'm big on like, obviously everything's an energy, and like I read a lot of books. Like there's this book I was going to reference, Master Key Principle, I think, and it's like basically like a flow of energy, right? And like do you do any like thing to magnetize your flow of energy in that realm? Does that make sense?
Like magnetize money towards me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I think the biggest thing I would say is you have to have like true and genuine intentions with what you're doing. Meaning, you know, if I have a goal, let's say someone's like, I want to be a day trader, but the only thing that they care about is the money, then you will never get to that goal. Versus if you are genuinely curious about this profession or the markets in general, you'll naturally attract the money eventually if you're competent and you really care about what you're doing. When you start just doing it for the money, I think that you, not just with day trading, but any industry, you start breaking rules of your integrity, and you start breaking rules just to get money, whether it's you're screwing someone over or you're just doing things you wouldn't normally do. I think the true way to attract money is be genuine, be yourself, and align yourself with something you actually care about doing. And in this, I think in the current market, you know, in social media, the market is now rewarding like genuine people versus like, you know, 10 years ago. If you sound good on the internet, you can attract a lot of different types of people.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, like there's a level of like, for me, like psycho-cybernetics, like a subconscious programming that like keeps me like at a certain level where like either if things are going good, it's like here. If things are going bad, it's here. Like it's at the same, like, you know, so I feel like I'm trying to break like that ceiling maybe, and like I don't know really like how to do it, like, you know, in my market, which like again, like me and my wife have talks, like we have a wonderful lifestyle, you know, I couldn't ask for anything else. Like I spend a lot of time with my family. I love watching my daughter grow up. I enjoy like everything that I do, and we have a really dope life, like, you know, but like also I'm not like, I don't have like a liquid like even 7 figures, like, you know, so and the desire to want more is like, I think it's natural human desire, right? To like want to progress and like continue to evolve. But I don't know. I don't even know what I don't know. And like, I think that it's an energy, right? Like, I think it's some level of energetic block that I have to like release or let go or work on to attract like the right thing that isn't like outside of my ethics or like, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just like sharing thoughts.
You know what? I think that like even when you're in your situation, I feel like people are making more progress than they think. They just can't see it at face value yet. Meaning the work you're putting in now, you may not see it financially yet, it pay off. But I think that if you stay consistent and you really focus and you pivot and you adjust as you're progressing down this road, you'll get paid. Like, it'll really pay off. And I believe that.
Thanks, man. Well, and I think that like, obviously we don't do bad, like, but you're probably an anomaly, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, you know, the average millionaire, I don't even know if the statistic is still true, it's like 50 something, right? Like, and not that being average in America is like anything to be proud of, you know, but I think you're right, is I think that maybe you get hung up in like all the comparison factors, right? And dude, I'm 34, you're 34. What year, what month are you born?
November.
Oh, November. Yeah. My daughter is born in November. I'm born in September, so we're similar, very similar in age.
Yeah.
So we're still, you know, I'm still really young, you're still really young. There's still a long road, and regardless of where you're at, you still have a long way to progress, like, you know. So like, it's exciting to see do you have like something that you want to build and create like outside of yourself? Like, obviously taking care of your family and your wife is important, but like, do you have like maybe like a bigger thing that you can use your resources to do, or like, I don't know, do you have anything in mind?
Like in terms of like starting a charity or anything like that, I haven't thought about that, but I do try to help as many people as I can. Like in my day-to-day life, I'll just randomly meet people and I try to give away as much as I can. In terms of like money. But I guess
I wasn't like referring to like money or charity, just like, I don't know, like a compassion's the wrong word, like something that you feel compelled to do and like impact people with, like, you know, I don't know, different people have different dreams, like open up a restaurant, or like freaking, you know, do a nonprofit, or like start a sober living home, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, like any type of like dream.
I would say like my dream that kind of is scary, like a scary thing that like a real deep waters type thing for me would be to start a hedge fund.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because right now I also have a business where I basically teach people how to trade, and they follow my trades and they watch me.
Is that like normal? Like, people like, I don't know, like, is it like a mirror, like you show your trade? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
So basically it's like, okay, the morning starts and I'll enter a trade and I'll be like, okay, I bought Tesla, and I'll tell the exact price and the strike and all this, and people watch it. Some people buy it, and I've been doing that for about 6 years.
Oh, sick.
So that is a pretty stable business. It makes millions a year. So the hedge fund thing would be something where I would have to kind of stop that.
How come? Is it like
there's like rules against and then I would have to have probably someone manage that while I start the fund.
Or switch the entity so it's not like or whatever.
But it's a capital intensive thing to start a fund, and
really
it's
you have to put up your own capital for it?
Just to for compliance and just applying, you have to put up some money, and you need to raise capital too. So I would only do it if I could raise maybe like 250 or to 500. So that's like my dream to
really
do. Yeah.
You feel like really compelled to do that, like, and what is like, what would you say is like do you have a time horizon? Is it like something that like is like an actual dream, or something like that would be nice, like, you know?
You know what? I would say it's possible. I know people that could help me start it. So maybe in my 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's not that far away.
No, it's not that far away. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. So yeah, because like with day trading, like I've kind of in some sense reached the pinnacle of like what it offers.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, how much more can you do with it?
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it. I it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that would be like the next like scary like dream to get to. Yeah.
And then do you think you could, with your level of like energy, you could be a billionaire?
It's I guess it's possible in theory.
Yeah,
In theory,
like that. That's crazy,
if
dude.
the stars align, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you start a hedge fund, it's like almost for sure,
Yeah.
or close. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
have you read like the Ray Dalio book, Changing World Order?
I haven't watched. I haven't read that one. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I stopped because it was scary.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, yeah, fuck this, dude. This is scary.
Oh, is it like New
It's
World
like
Order
kind of
type
like
stuff?
yeah, kind of like
Yeah,
America's like on the like it's based on history and like America's kind of like on the shift of like the world order where like China's probably going to be the next like power, like number one superpower or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like made me feel uncertainty, and I was like, I don't like this book. So I don't know. I was just gonna see if you had any
Oh
thoughts
yeah,
on
no,
it.
I haven't read that book, but I have heard of like the conspiracies of like China taking over and being number
Yeah.
one, but I don't know. I don't know if that could happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows, right? I mean, it's like way above my pay grade to like concern myself in. Do you okay, so I face this challenge in my life again, not that like I'm extremely wealthy or anything, but like comfort or conformity, like, cuz you don't really need to do anything you don't want to do. And so like how do you like stay disciplined with like your regular like routines for maximum health even or like to stay sharp on top of yourself with like the underlying like knowing that you don't really have to do anything if you don't want to.
Well, that's a good question. So I think that like most people think that like when you hit a certain level, it's like, oh, he can just chill and be comfortable and just live his life. He can retire early.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is like when you get to a certain level, you don't want to go back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of live in like a sense of paranoia, and you're kind of almost not fear, but you're always on your toes to where you want to make sure your health is good and you want
Yeah.
to make sure you're working hard, because once you get a taste of like being up here, the thought of going back here or people knowing like, oh shoot, like Brando went broke,
Yeah.
like the thought of that is like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushes me to like always work harder.
And stay sharp.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially like working out and just trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Keeps like the brain sharp. So.
Well, dude, if you think about it like in historical, like old terms, you could be doing completely well, right? Like in the old days, if you were a duke or had a king or whatever, and you could just be minding your own business, like someone would be like, oh, I want what he has. I'm going to go take it. And they would get an army and they would come and take what's yours. And so you would have to stay like, sharp.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
couldn't let anyone. And I think we're all have the same brain, like from like, it's not like it's advanced with society. So it's a bit of primal like instincts that we have, and they're like it might not look like a guy coming to pillage your kingdom, but like there are entities that could come after you, like the IRS or like, and so you have to stay sharp, because once I feel like you've amassed a certain like level of a kingdom, like you have to defend it, like
Yeah.
and it's like have your resources and stuff like that. Like, have you had to deal with any type of challenges like that?
Yeah, well, like I would say, like the world of business, like the business I'm in, like people try to copy you all the time, and they try to mimic your trades, and you have to kind of combat that. And sometimes you'll have to have a lawyer kind of reach out to them. And
No way.
Yeah,
It's like you're not allowed to do that?
well, the thing is, like, there's like for example, when you sign up for mine, you sign like disclosures and different statements that you're not going to take any information.
Oh, and like.
So like, I guess in some sense, it's like, oh, like you have to defend what's yours.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess in the world of business, there's copycats all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of business.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of just be prepared for it.
And stay sharp, dude. You
Yeah.
gotta stay sharp.
Yeah. It's a vicious world, the business world.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because, like, I think we were having a conversation when we first met. It's like I've insulated my life to where it's very fabricated and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, and there's anyone that would be willing to, like, take my position, like, like steal my clients, do my business, have my wife, if you want to go like that deep, right? Like people would like take it from you if you allowed it to. And I think that like staying sharp, just like gym, mental clarity, right? Like is what helps, stay on point so that you could see threats if anything ever were to happen,
Yeah, for sure.
So do you have any like maybe like routines like that you use to like stay sharp?
One thing I've been doing for a long time is I'll meditate like in the mornings before I work. So I'll do like half an hour. I'll just sit on the ground and just try not to think about
Yeah.
anything. So that kind of helps keep my mind clear, I guess.
So that's like early, right? Because the market's open pretty early.
Around like 5 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Roughly, yeah.
So what time do you usually wake up?
Around between 4:30 and 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then just like what time do you hit the gym? Is it like part of your
the gym
wellness routine?
Yeah. The gym I'll go after work, like around 4 p.m.
Nice.
So I'll go like 4 or 5 days a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go. What gym do you usually go to?
I go the one at my condo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you where after.
Yeah. No, don't come looking for Brando. But that's cool that it's like built in because I have to drive to my gym.
What gym you go to?
I go to LVAC.
Okay, nice.
What side of like town are you in? Like
Near the Strip.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're like kind of not far from here.
Yeah,
I'm on like the southwest. So.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, I used to go to that gym.
Yeah.
I used to live in Summerlin.
Oh, okay.
So I would go to the one on West Flamingo.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's literally the one I go to.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually like 5 or it's like 6 or 7 now.
It's a big gym there. Huh?
Yeah, it's massive and it's always busy, dude. I'm like, why is it busy every single second of the day?
It's crazy. Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up here and I I do my thing on social media and I run a lot of ads and stuff. So like every time, doesn't matter what time of day I go to that gym, like someone like recognizes me or talks to me or whatever. And like, it's cool, but like my gym time is mental focus. Like I'm training my mind. I work out in a manner where like I'll do like intense cardio and then I'll go like weights and like keep my heart rate as high as I could go. So it's like intensity driven. And so I don't like to like break my concentration, but like when people are there, like I'm not going to be rude or whatever, so it's all right. It's a busy gym.
Mask.
No. Oh yeah, wear a mask. Wear like a ski mask. It's funny because I tell my wife that. I was like, I don't think it's like hometown stuff. Like it's easy to get in your head. Like I think I'm getting famous.
Yeah. That's
but
awesome, yeah.
I run a lot of ads and I do a lot of social media and I've grown up here my whole life. So it's like, of course, like people are gonna, I've seen a lot of people. But so all right, so you have had this level of success. What are you like stoked? What gets you excited about now? Like nowadays, like, I actually let's go to that. And then I have a really cool question to ask you. But, so what gets you excited like nowadays?
Yeah, good question. So, so with the business I run, there's a bunch of different, like, I guess, students that have seen a lot of success.
Oh, sweet.
So that makes me feel good when I get messages of people like reaching their goals. Or one guy messaged me the other day. He's like, thanks to you, I retired 10 years early.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
I think I saw like on your Instagram, it's like that's what it is, right? Like your thing there's like a couple different tiers of it. And then you could like mimic your trades, basically, is what it is?
Kinda, yes. Well, some people will try to just copy them, but I try to teach people like what I'm seeing and how to spot the trades.
So you see the patterns?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I try to like show them what I'm seeing so they don't have to like rely on my trades.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that that's something like that, like someone could do like just like part time or like as a side thing to like compound their little whatever money they have, or do you think you have to like fully like dive into it and really like pay attention and be
you know what
aware?
Like you don't need to be at the computer every day. It just depends on what's your goal, right? There's people that can buy like an option that's like a month or 2 months out. Some of us buy weeklies, which will expire in a couple days. But yeah, no, you don't need to be at the computer every day to make money doing what I do. Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that like leads into the question that I was going to say. It's like if you were right now, present day, but you didn't have any of the resources you have, and you had your like 6,000 starting capital again, what would you do?
I would do the same thing I did. I would do it exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just give me a phone and internet connection anywhere in the world. I'll make it back.
No way.
Yeah,
just with like as little. I guess I don't understand it. So yeah, I just don't understand.
Here, let me break it down for you. It's like really easy way. So like think about like Amazon like 10 years ago, right? Amazon, they first started selling books, right? But then all of a sudden they started selling other things, right? Like things for your home, electronics. And they just started to really branch off, and it was really easy to order things. So you have to think like forward looking, like, okay, well, Amazon, they were really good at selling books, and now they're selling X, Y, and Z, and Some of my friends also are starting to get Amazon accounts. So you have to think, okay, well, this could be a big company, right? Their platform is very robust. It's very easy to use, and this could be something big in the future, right? And the more and more people you see start to use it, then you have to think, okay, well, this could be something big. I'm going to invest in this company, right? Another example is like Tesla, like the first electric car company. In the beginning, like people were pretty skeptical, but as it started to gain traction in like 2019, close to 2020, you have to think to yourself, well, this might be worth a shot. Elon Musk, he's started PayPal, he has Tesla, he has SpaceX, all these different companies have all been successful. This might be worth a shot. I don't need to buy an option to make money on. I can just buy shares. So that's where I would start in the sense of like trying to figure out what stock to buy.
Yeah.
It's just think about what is emerging. Like
And that's like, so I'm sorry to like interrupt you. And that's like just long-term investing, not like trading.
Well, that's long-term investing, but it gets you in the mindset of understanding which stocks to trade, right? Because these stocks eventually will have the most liquidity, right? And eventually they'll be the stocks that everyone wants to trade. And those are primarily the stocks that I only trade is like sector-leading stocks.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Okay, so let's say you picked your sector leading, and are those the ones that you trade, like that's where you do all your trading on?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, so what is an option? Like, what does that mean? Like,
So basically, it's basically a contract to own a certain amount of shares for a certain period of time. But the benefit of it is, let's say Apple is at $100, right? And I buy one share, so it's $100. If Apple goes to $110, I'll make $10 on the share. But if I buy an option, of Apple and it goes to $10, like in theory, I could make 10x.
really?
Yeah, in theory, there's more
Right,
to
right.
it, but that's the idea of options.
Because you have to like trade it with, like you said, weekly. Like, so you have to make that like get in and get out by that time frame based on the contract.
The trade essentially needs to work before it expires, like the option. So it's like a contract. It could end on that Friday for 1 week. It could be a month out, but it just needs to go past the price you choose. So like, let's say you bet that it'll go past 110. It needs to get past the 110 by a certain period of time in order for you to get like, I guess, paid.
So then, so you have to like, once it goes past 110, then you could like sell it, and that's where you'll make your profit.
You could sell way before 110. Like if it goes to 105, you'll make money for sure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it doesn't have to go to
It
one.
doesn't
Just that has to go over like the where you bought it at.
Exactly.
So that's where you could lose, is if like the contract is a week, and then you bought in at like 100, but then it goes to like 85.
You're done.
You're toast.
It goes zero. Yeah.
You're out. You're out of the game. Whatever you put up.
Yeah.
So you would have to like, your principal is like whatever it is, right? Like, let's say we're beginner Brandos and we put it in. Hold on. And it goes over the 110, like it could compound potentially 10x or whatever?
It just depends on your timing, but yeah, it could definitely go 10x or more. It just depends on the day. Like, let's just say it's like you buy it on Friday and it expires on Friday, and Apple goes from like 100 to 110. Like that option could go like 30x. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the probability of that, you catching it like that, it's like very low.
And so do you do like daily like ins and outs? Like, so like if you get in the morning and you get out like at the end of the day, or like?
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes I'll hold for a few days.
So you just kind of like want to see, like you want to maximize your like position basically?
Yeah. But sometimes it won't work on the first day. So sometimes you have to hold it.
You have to, right? Because or you'll be...
Well, you don't have. You could get out, but you're kind of risking what you want to lose. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I believe in the trade, so let's just give it more time.
Based on like the pattern. So you're like trading already based off like a pattern, based off like, it's not just like, oh, this is looking good. Like you have like a mythology before like methodology. I think is the word.
Yeah.
Like before you decide to like even trade it.
So it's like patterns. It's pretty much like all just patterns. Yeah. So
that's interesting. And what like, I don't even know if you could disclose it, but like what like, I guess, how do you see a pattern? It's just like you've been staring at the matrix so long, you just like can see the pattern.
No, no. So basically, like, let's just use like Apple as an example. So let's just say like Apple's been at like $80 for a year, right? And 1 year previous, it got to 100, but then now it's at 80, and then another in a year from now, it's creeping back to up to 100. So 2 years ago, it was at that 100. So now we know 100 is like a big resistance level, and typically like round numbers on stocks are like big numbers where once it breaks 100, it can go to like 120, 150, 200. So that's like one example of.
So when you could feel like that it's about to break through a resistance,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I believe in this trade.
Yeah, and then you kind of line it up with like the news, like what kind of news is coming for Apple, or if it's getting upgraded by different banks or funds or anything like that. So it's kind of simple with the numbers of like 100, but then you have to kind of dive deeper and look at more of the details of like, do you think it'll actually break? Let's kind of look at the news and where the S&P 500's at, will that line up to? So
I mean that makes sense. Like, so is like where can you trade options? Just like on Robinhood or anywhere?
you could do Robinhood, you could do like E-Trade, Schwab,
just like anywhere.
all the big brokerages. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sign up for your
Yeah.
mentorship program.
Yeah.
Trade some money on the side. Yeah, I've just been dollar cost averaging into like the S&P for the last few years, so it's
Okay.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Take some money out and try
Yeah.
option trading.
There you go.
You never know, right?
You never
I don't
know.
know. I feel like there's I don't know. I think that like it's important to like not get distracted, right? Like in like what you're doing, because I think a lot of people, it's like right now I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I could do it. I know that like I'm so confident in what I do that like if I wanted to be like an astronaut, I would be an astronaut. So like if I wanted to dedicate all my time to like trading, I know I'd be successful at it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. My brain would hurt maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
making content.
For
I like my life. You know what I mean? But can I do it? I guess that was like my question is like, can I do it like here and there and like still compound with it? Like, what do you think?
If you study for a few months and understand like what you're looking for, and you just wait for that type of trade, yeah, you can. Yeah, there's people I
giving
know
us hope.
that only trade like one stock a year.
Oh, really?
And then they'll just kind of focus on that. They'll kind of pinpoint like what level they want to consider, and then like they'll set an alert on their phone. So then like when the stock hits that level, their phone will like alert them.
And you're like,
then-
boom, they go in.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like you said, if you put in like whatever 10 grand and like 30 X's, like
Yeah.
that could be a trade that you'd be happy with. Like, for me, I'd be stoked. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure. It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's interesting, dude. So what about what else? I know we talked about briefly like what you get excited about. Like, do you have any like hobbies outside of work or like you know?
Yeah. I like to golf.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like
I was like, you go. But yeah, no, I'll golf. But my wife and I like to travel.
yeah,
Yeah,
traveling is
so
cool.
we like to try to plan a trip at least, like say 3 or 4 big trips a year.
Yeah, like every quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, but other than that, I mean, I'm pretty low key. Just try to like relax.
Yeah, do your own thing.
Yeah.
How do you like? Okay, so this goes. The headline that I'm gonna put for the video is like, I survived losing $1.5 million. So maybe we should talk about that a little
sure,
bit, and
yeah.
maybe how did you do that? Like, experience that, and like it not, like how did you transmute that energy to where like it could have been crippling to like some people?
Yeah. So it happened twice, but I'll talk about the one that I'll talk about one of them. So it was April 2023. I'm trading the S&P. So they have options on S&P 500, and I entered the position. It was probably around 300,000 to start, and the market started to go against me. But I was on such a roll like previous to that trade that it was hard to believe that I was going to lose on such a big trade. So I kept buying more. So I actually doubled down to 600. And, eventually it went up a little, and then it came back down. And eventually the size got up to about 1.5. And it came up a little, but every little pop in the position ended up being a deeper like valley.
Oh man.
So it all went to zero. Like I didn't even like take an L. like I didn't stop it. It just went all to
man.
zero. But it makes you feel sick. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no way around it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, no, I'll make it back. No, the first initial feeling is like you feel literally like sick to your stomach. You start like sweating, like I was literally like sweating.
Perspiration.
It's funny though, cause like I'll hang out with like my wife after work, and like you have to like pretend like everything's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then you gotta come clean
yeah,
after.
yeah. So it was tough. It was tough, but you kind of had to remember like who you are and what you've gone through and like your experience that you have. So I ended up making it back, not right away, but within like 2 months, I made it all back. But yeah, it's a humbling experience because at any stage of your life and no matter how good you are, you are still prone to making big mistakes.
You're not invincible.
You know what I'm saying? So I think in that moment though, and in that period of like feeling that loss, it's really important to just be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what got me through that is like just knowing that it's not as bad as it seems, and you'll get through it.
Yeah, dude. And I think like on your podcast with Riz, I remember you saying something like you find the silver lining in everything and like being positive. And you know what? Like that's helped me like really a lot through my life, as I have this saying, and I learned it from a training. It's like, this must be the best thing that could have happened to me. Like, you know, in the midst of like, I've never lost anything that substantial, but like in the midst of one time in 2020, we were buying a house and we put like the escrow money down, and like the deal fell out last minute and I lost the escrow money. It was nothing like substantial, but I remember that night told my wife, I was like, let's go out and let's like pop the champagne because this must have been the best thing that could ever happened. And we were still looking for a house for a little bit, but we found like a house in a way better area, like way better backyard. Everything was like better than, so it's like, it's hard in the moment to be like, oh, this is a unfortunate experience or whatever. But like, if you really just reframe your mind to like, somehow this must have been the best thing and it could be delusional, right? But like, I always just repeat those words, like, this must be the best thing that could have been happening for me. And it served me. And again, it could be delusional, and maybe like just by saying that word tract, it then attracts like a better situation. But like, it helps me.
No, I agree. I think that's the best way to think. Like anything that bad that happens to you, it's meant to happen the way it's supposed to happen. That's the way I see things, and I think that's how everyone should think if they want to like be always in a positive mindset.
Yeah, and do you think that like being in a positive mindset like affects like your trades and like the way you go about like your business and stuff?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because like you're dealing with a lot, like you're dealing with taking losses, you're dealing with people like in the business. So people complain and people want X, Y, and Z, and they always want more from you. So you have to always kind of see it in a light where, you're here to help people, and it's a privilege to help people.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, that's the way I see that. And then when you lose, it's a lesson learned. So that's kind of how I kind of view.
Yeah, and do you think like from your losers, like, at least for me, like I've had a couple major failures in my life where I've had to personally like face humility, like to myself in the mirror, like, I must have made these mistakes, and it forces me to like look at what I did and take accountability for it so that it doesn't happen again. So do you ever like, you think like losses have like any type of effect like that for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it keeps me humble, especially after like you go on like a winning streak. You think like, oh, I can't lose. This is, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the money's coming in.
I got the sauce, baby.
Yeah. And then like that one day hits and like you get like smacked. So it just keeps you humble. It keeps you grounded.
The universe.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's like, okay, you're not as good as you think.
Yeah. Did you go to Catholic school like all like 12 grades?
Yeah.
No way.
I did, yeah.
I only went for like 5th and 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, this isn't for me. I was a bad kid.
Oh,
I was a troubled youth.
I feel it. Yeah. Yeah, kindergarten all the way to 12.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like that's again, I'm like all over the place, but it's kudos to your parents, because like at least in Vegas it's not like cheap, you know,
No,
Catholic school and stuff. So like for them to be able to sustain that and like put you guys through that, 2 kids, you know, that's cool. Do you think that affects like your viewpoint on life, like as like yeah, just like your perspective on life?
Like going to Catholic school?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think that in theory it's a better environment than a public school, so I kind of saw it as a, like when my parents sacrificed what they did to put me through that, I tried my best to appreciate it, but I don't know if it shaped the way I view life. I think it was just me trying to figure out like how to fit in and how to like just get good grades.
Yeah.
But like, growing up, you're kind of like in that system of like you're kind of just tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, you know. So
Yeah.
I didn't really have a view on the world.
Yeah.
Until
You're just like I'm just doing it, making your parents proud.
Kind of going through the motions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was very rebellious about Catholic school, and like I mean my wife is Jewish, so we're deciding to like raise our daughter Jewish, and then my sister like converted to Mormonism like when we were in high school, and so like I would live with my uncle. We lived with my uncle during like the turmoil and stuff, and he would make me go with her to like the church to like make sure nothing happened or whatever, and so I feel like I got exposed to a lot of like sects, you know, of religion, so that I feel like helped me. And then Catholic school, we grew up Catholic, it kind of like helped me understand that like everyone's ultimately like believes in the greater good, and there's like probably a higher power, and there's like an order of things, and you know, there's no reason to like conflict with each other. It's like everyone just like, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That's how I look at things.
Yeah, I think most of us are on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I don't know. That was a little bit random. Like, how long have we been going? No, we've been making good time. All right. So what? I guess the last segment is like what you're excited about, like the future. I know we kind of like touched on it briefly, like the hedge fund possibility. But what are you looking forward to, like maybe in the next 5 years, like 5-year plan?
So like my current business, I just kind of, so like I was working with another person, but I kind of branched off and did like my own brand. So my goal like the next 5 years is try to scale the business I have right now to like eight figures and beyond. I don't know if we get to 9, but 8 figures and beyond. So, and with what comes with that is just helping more people. So that's like my big goal. For like
just like helping people and changing lives. It's kind of crazy, like when you do like change someone's life, like they didn't have much and now they have like all their needs met. Like that's probably extremely fulfilling.
Yeah. So every year I host a meetup here in Vegas, and I invite all the members, not all of them, but whoever wants to come. You should come to the next one. So you can
when is it?
It'll be around May.
Oh, sick. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like, I mean, I follow you on social media, so like if you make any announcements, or I don't want you to go out of your way and like text me or anything if you don't want to.
No.
But yeah, I'd love to come.
Come check it out. Yeah, it's cool.
So you do that event. How many people usually come?
I think last year we had maybe like 30 something.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. We like host like a dinner. Like it can't fit everyone. We would have to get like a big hall. But, well, like a lot of people apply, but we can only fit a certain amount of people.
Right.
So we'll just do like a dinner, and then we'll do like Top Golf. And then we'll go to a club.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think we're getting old for the clubs.
You think so?
I don't know. I have a daughter now, so.
True.
So what about you, kids? Are you guys considering children?
Yeah. This year we're trying. So,
yeah.
We just got married last July. So.
How long have you guys been together though? For a while.
About 7 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Same with my wife. We've been together 7 years.
Nice.
Dude, we're like freaking twins.
For real. handsome guy.
Dude, so we had our daughter after being together for 4 years though. So like we got married 3 years ago, and then because we weren't married and we were engaged, and then she got pregnant, which we were trying. So but then her parents were like, you need to get married, before the baby comes. So we got married, but Yeah, dude, having children has been really cool. Like to me, I only have one daughter, but it's probably like my favorite thing in the world now. It's like just because it's like this little person, dude, who like just thinks you're like the coolest, like the best, like they have like the highest vision of you that anyone could ever have. Like, and it's so cool, and they don't care about like any of your achievements. They don't care about anything else. They just like want you to play with them and to like be there for them, and it's like my favorite part. And like I don't know, I guess like in that sense I'm a very wealthy man, and the ability that I have the time freedom to spend like more time at work, you know, or with them besides work. I work like from typically like 10 to 3 and like usually like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, you know, so like for the most part I spend a lot of time with them, and we live a really dope lifestyle for that amount of freedom, you know. And there's no stress too. Like I don't have very much stress about anything. Like the business almost runs itself, and we do pretty well. Like, so my goal is like 1.2 this year, and like, you know, that's like awesome, enough to do cool. Yeah, like, you know, have a good life.
That's a great life, yeah.
So anyways, all that to say is you should definitely have children.
For sure.
It's incredible part. It's probably like the craziest thing I've seen in my life. Like just see a little human like learn to do things. Like so crazy.
That's
like
crazy.
We're all, and it gives you a lot of compassion for all of humanity. Really, like we're all just those little babies that just like grew up, and like now we're doing what we think is best, you know, for ourselves and for the people around us. So like, I don't know, it's great. I hope you guys have children soon.
For sure. Thank you. How old's your daughter?
She's 3.
Oh,
she just turned 3 in November. November 26th is her birthday.
Nice.
So
it's a good day.
Is that your birthday?
Oh, 6. Mom's 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 26. So yeah, she's cool. She's learning, and we did a lot of like. My wife's super into like right now we're doing like a what's the diet? It's like a caveman diet. So just like steak and fruit and like vegetables, so like no carbs or whatever. And my wife is cool about that. Like she'll like put me on these regimens, and I'm not even aware that I'm like doing them, you know. So, but she did Montessori with her, and then like we did like very like a lot of stuff that people like our family criticized us about. Like she never was sat in a bouncer. She always like was on the ground, so it like forced them to like move their head. And we didn't do shots, like, because there's like a high like percentage that like kids link to autism, because it's like so much like mercury and mineral, like really like toxic things in the shots that like stunt like developmental stuff. So we did like all these things, and like now she's really sharp, and every time we take her anywhere, people are like, whoa, she's like really sharp for like a 3-year-old or whatever. And it's because my wife does like a lot of hard work with her, you know. And so I think there's no right or wrong ways to like raise children. It's whatever you think is best, but like it's really cool like seeing her be like, you know, sharp.
That's awesome. Yeah, I heard that about the vaccines too. Like I was telling my wife like maybe we should not do some or any.
Yeah, you should read some books. I mean, like, you know, there's a bunch of books out on it that are like pretty popular, and it kind of like use your information to like, you know, make your best decision. But yeah, man, I don't know how I would be pretty angry, I guess, if I like, you know, if she was normal and then she went and got shots and then she was like diagnosed autistic. I would be very furious. And like, you know, what do? Like go beat up a doctor or something like that? You know, you can't really do anything about that. So I don't know. Anyways, children are fun. Life is fun. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day. I know you probably just got off work and you got a gym session you ditched on, but hopefully you can still hit it after this. And I appreciate your time, man. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on X at Elite Options 2 and Instagram Elite Options Trader 2.
Let's go. Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
Let's go.